Toronto buyers are walking away from homes after 5 minutes. Some of them don't even get out of the car. A seller I know listed a beautiful detached home in Etobicoke last spring. 23 showings over 6 weeks. 0 offers. He called me and said, "Kevin, what's wrong with my house?" I looked at the listing and found 3 problems in under a minute. The seller had no idea. Here's what most sellers get wrong. They think if the house is clean and the price is fair, buyers will line up. That stopped being true 2 years ago. Toronto buyers are the pickiest they have been in a decade, and they have the leverage to be. I'm going to walk you through the 10 things that make Toronto buyers reject a home on site. Number 6 catches the most sellers off guard. Reason number 1, the home feels like a money pit. When a buyer walks through a home and sees an old roof, an aging furnace, original windows from 1970s, they're not looking at a house. They're looking at their future repair bills. A roof replacement on a typical Toronto semi runs about $8,000 to $10,000 plus. A furnace, an AC combo, $8,000 to $15,000. Full window replacement, $15,000 to $25,000. And if the home still has knob and tube, you're looking at another $8,000 to $20,000 just for the electrical update. During COVID in 2021 and early 2022, buyers didn't care. They paid $200,000 over asking and said, "I'll deal with it later." Look what that did to people. Some of those buyers are sitting on homes worth less than what they paid, plus $40,000 in deferred repairs they still not have done. Today's buyers learn from that. They are not absorbing someone else's maintenance backlog. So if there's deferred maintenance on the home, expect it to sit, usually when the list is big. Reason number 2, the location has a deal breaker. Let me explain more. Location has always mattered, but Toronto buyers are now filtering out homes before they even book a showing, as based purely on location. Talk about backing onto the Gardner, under a Pearson flight path, across from a hydro corridor, on a major artery like Dundas or Lakeshore, where streetcars run past your living room window at night, next to a rail corridor where freight trains shake your house at 3 a.m. I'll tell you, my buyers now drive by a home before they even call me. They want to check the noise, the traffic, the feel of the street. If the location does not pass their personal test, I never hear about it. They just move on to the next one. During the 2022 peak, homes on busy roads sold for top dollar because there were 15 offers on everything. That's not happening anymore. So if your home is on a 4-lane road with a bus route, the pool of interested buyers just shrank to less than half. Reason number 3, the outdoor space disappoints. Toronto lots are already small. A typical semi, like in the West End, sits about 15 to 18 feet of frontage. Buyers know that. They're not expecting an acreage, but they're expecting usable outdoor space. If the listing photos show a private backyard oasis and the buyer shows up to a 10 by 12 concrete pad with no fence and neighbor's deck overlooking right into it, that's a rejection immediately. Buyers with kids need room for them to play. Buyers with dogs need a fence. Everyone wants the same level of privacy. If the backyard cannot deliver that, the house loses the major selling point. So if you're a seller and your backyard's small, be honest in the listing. Do not oversell it. Show what it actually is. Buyers would rather see an accurate small yard than feel misled by wide angle photography. Here's reason number 4. The listing has red flags online. Toronto buyers do their homework. So before they call me, they already checked the listing on realtor.ca. They have looked at the days on market. The first question I get always is the same. What is wrong with that house? In this market, a well-priced house in a decent area sells within 10 to 20 days. If a home has been sitting for 30, 45, 60 plus days, buyers assume something's off. Sometimes it's just the price. I check the comparables and 9 times out of 10, the home is overpriced by 50 to 100K for that area. And the other red flag is the pictures. If the pictures make the rooms look huge, but the square footage says, let's say 900 square feet, buyers catch that. Wide angle lens photography does not fool anyone anymore. And it shouldn't, because that was a horrible thing that some photographers were doing. They also pull up the floor plans, check the measurements, realize the spacious living room is 11 by 12. If your home has been on the market for more than 30 days in Toronto right now, buyers are already assuming there's a problem. That is the reality. Reason number 5, the seller feels difficult to work with. So when a listing says showings are only available Tuesday and Thursday between 1 and 3 p.m., buyers and agents read that as a warning sign. They think the seller not even let them see the house. What are they going to be doing during negotiations? And here's the big Toronto specific one: tenant occupied properties. We know that in Ontario, tenant protection under the RTA is strong. Buyers know that. If the home is tenant occupied and a listing says tenant requires 24 hours notice of showings, a lot of buyers would not even bother dealing with a tenanted property. Now, I try to give sellers the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's a reason for the restricted showing, a sick family member, they work from home, a challenging tenant situation they are trying to manage. It's not always that the seller is going to be difficult, but the listing always says sold as is, seller will not address any inspection findings, that combination, limited showings plus as is, tells the buyer this transaction might be up for a fight. Most buyers have enough options that they just skip it entirely. If you're getting value from this, hit subscribe. I'm just shy of 1,600 subs right now. And if you subscribe, you help me keep on making videos just like this. Reason number 6, property taxes are a surprise. This one catches the most sellers off guard because they do not think about this, but buyers do because they have to pay for this. Property tax rates vary dramatically across the GTA. Toronto's rate, the mill rate, it's about just shy of 0.8%. That's about $7,000 on $1 million assessed value. Move to Mississauga, that's over 1%. Brampton, about 1.2%. Oshawa, about 1.5%. We see the values are much higher in different parts of the city. But here's the part that really worries buyers, is the impact. They're supposed to reassess properties value every 4 years. Ontario has frozen that cycle. So every property in the province is still assessed as it's 2016. But if a home has had major renovations, a second story addition, a full gut rental, impact can trigger a reassessment on that individual property. So I had a buyer looking at a fully rebuilt home in the West End last year. It was original bungalow was knocked down and a rebuilt of a new 4-bedroom, 3-bath with a legal basement apartment was built. Beautiful home. The listing shows taxes that's $4,800, but that's based on the old bungalow. So my buyer called Impact directly. They could not give a number. So we looked at comparables we built on the street that sold maybe a year to 2 years earlier. Taxes on that one, about $9,200, almost double. So that $4,400 difference added up to about almost $400 a month in payments. For a buyer qualifying at the stress test rate, that could be a difference between getting approved and getting declined. And it still has no idea this was scaring people away. Reason number 7, buyers cannot picture themselves living there. So during the height of the market, sellers did not bother decluttering. There's family photos everywhere, kids' art on the fridge, laundry on the couch. It did not matter. The house sold in 3 days with 12 offers. Well, we know that's over. My buyers walked into a house, and if it's filled with personal belongings, if the rooms feel cramped because of the oversized furniture, if the walls are covered in family portraits, they walk out in under 5 minutes. They cannot picture themselves in the space. And if they cannot picture themselves in it, and if they can't get attached emotionally, they're not writing any offers. Stagings matters more now than at any point in the last 5 years. If you're listing a home in this market, it needs to feel like a blank canvas. Clean, decluttered, depersonalized. Buyers are choosy. Give them the space to imagine their own life in that house. Reason number 8, the home does not feel like good value. Buyers are doing more research than ever. They check sold prices on realtor.ca. They compare the photos. They calculate price per square foot. Before they even call me, they're already built a case for whether that home is overpriced or not. The question every buyer is asking themselves right now, am I getting enough for my money? If the answer is no, they do not even book a showing. I just dealt with this on a listing. Beautiful home, great street, solid neighborhood. But the comparable down the block sold 4 months ago for $80,000 less. It had a renovated kitchen. The kitchen on the listing was original from 2005. Buyers did the math. They looked at the price, subtracted $40,000 for the kitchen renovation that they needed, and decided the value was not there. So buyers have leverage right now. The sales to new listing ratio across the GTA is about 35%. That's in buyers' territory. When buyers have choices, they compare every dollar. And if your home does not stack up, they move on. Reason number 9, the insurance costs are a surprise. This one does not get talked about enough. Buyers are now calling their insurance broker before making an offer. And what they're hearing is scaring them off. If the home has knob and tube wiring, some insurers will not cover it. Others will charge a premium. Galvanized plumbing, same situation. A home near a ravine or in a flood-prone area. Overland water coverage and sewer backup insurance can add about $1,500 to $2,500 a year on top of the base premium. Homeowners insurance across Ontario has gone up 15 to 20% over the last 3 years. That's not a Toronto problem. That is a national trend. Severe weather caused about $3.1 billion in insured damage across Canada in 2023 alone. And water damage is the single largest category. So if your home has older electrical or plumbing, it is an area with known water issues, buyers are going to find out. Their insurance broker will tell them. And for many buyers, especially first-time buyers, especially to qualify, an extra $2,000 a year insurance is enough for them to walk away. Reason number 10, buyers have non-negotiables and they are not settling. The final reason is the simplest. Toronto buyers have a list of non-negotiables and they are willing to wait for the right home. Parking. In Toronto, parking is a major one. If a home does not have at least one dedicated spot, a huge chunk of buyers will not consider it. A legal basement apartment for rental income to help with the mortgage. Proximity to a subway or GO station. An open concept main floor. A dedicated home office since hybrid work is not going away. These are not wish lists anymore. For most of my buyers, these are requirements. And if a home does not check these boxes, they will wait, even if it takes months. Inventory in the GTA is higher than it has been in years. Buyers have options. They're not desperate. They're not competing against 15 other offers like they were in 2022. So they sit back, they wait, and when the right house comes along at the right price with the right features, that is when they move. If you're a seller and your home has been sitting, look at this list. Be honest with yourself about which of these 10 apply to your property, because the market is telling you something. And the sooner you listen, the sooner you sell.